Hey everybody, Chef Chad Armstrong here, founder of Home Cook Academy, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the first video. Great tool to have just for you to know what a professional chef uses and has in their own kitchen. You know, there's really no secret to it. It's anything that anybody can have at any time. You know, the magic part is just getting the knowledge and the confidence and the skills that a professional chef has to make your life just that much easier in your own kitchen. So even today, I'm going to show you another one. Not only are you going to have this tool in your handbag, but also you're going to have the ability to save some money in your pocket. I think everybody would appreciate just that. You know, and it's really, once again, no secret. All we're going to be doing is cutting up a whole chicken. You know, cutting up a whole chicken is so much easier, so much better than buying chicken that's been cut up at the store for you, that's under the plastic wrap already. You know, if you can get a whole chicken, especially if you can get a local pasture-raised chicken, even better from your local farms. You know, not only are you doing something that's good for your pocket, but also something that's good in supporting your local community as well. You know, a couple things I like with whole chickens. One, I get to cut the pieces that I want. You know, if I want to use just chicken breast that night for dinner, I can use just chicken breast. I can put the rest in the fridge or in the freezer and save it for a later night in the week. Two, I have the carcass of the chicken that's left over for making my own chicken stock. You know, and I did post a video on my website, chefchadarmstrong.com. You can go there, you can see a video and recipe on how to make your own chicken stock. Great resource as well. Third is just saving money in your pocket. Buying a whole chicken costs a whole lot less than buying a chicken that's already been cut up for you. A whole chicken, this one that I got today, is $2.99 a pound. As opposed to if you go and buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts, they can run you anywhere from $6.99 up to like $9.99 a pound, depending on if it's, you know, conventional, organic, free range, and so on up. So much better choice to buy a whole chicken, saves money, make chicken stock, make other things with it. Great tool to have in your handbag. All right, so here we have our chicken. Let's go ahead and just do a little anatomy on the chicken so you can understand what's what. You know, when you're looking at a chicken, the breast are what's going to be up. So in between the breast, they have what's called the keel bone. It's a hard cartilage piece, kind of like our breastplate on us. And then down here is where the neck would have been, and the cavity going down into the neck. And then also that's where your wishbone is going to be as well. So you know, the wishbone comes down through here on either side, just below the breast. Obviously, the wings connect up to the top of the breast here. You can feel that joint. You know, that way you want to know where that is, so when you cut through it, you know exactly where that is to cut. Coming back to the back side of the chicken, obviously the legs attach, if you flip it over, to the thigh. So from right here through here is the thigh bone, and you can feel it in that joint where it's at. You flip it over again, this would be the backbone of the chicken right through here, and then the tail down through here. So if the chicken's, you know, alive, this is how they would, you know, go through life. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you one way, you know, to break down a chicken. This is not the only way, but what this is going to give you, it's going to give you the chicken breast without the bone. That way, if you want, you know, just boneless chicken breast for the night, great, there you have it. You can also take and leave the bones on, so it's part of it has the ribs attached to it for roasting as well, or for baking or grilling, however you like it. If you're doing that, it's just a different process, which I will show you in Home Cook Academy. But today I just want to show you one way to do it, and that way we can leave the breast, or I just have the breast by themselves without the bone, and then I'll show you the rest of the bird as well. So what I've got here is I've got my boning knife, and I like using a boning knife because it's flexible. You can see it bends for me. And that way when I'm cutting through, you know, in between bones and things like that on, you know, chicken or fish or smaller pieces of beef, it's easier to get into those tiny little areas. Got a nice, like, sharp little point there, very nice blade. So let's go ahead, and sometimes you have feathers and a little bit of skin still attached to your bird. That's actually, I think that's a good sign. I mean, it hasn't been chemically washed, and this is actually a local chicken. So this is done by a farmer and not by a big processing plant. So what I'm gonna do is take the bird, and I'm gonna face it with the wishbone towards me. I'm gonna find that keel bone, and I'm just gonna run my knife. Now I'm not gonna just cut all the way down through, because I don't wanna go down through into the cavity of the bird. But what I want to do is I want to run my knife along that keel bone to where it just gets down to where the cavity is, and then I'm going to start filleting down. It comes down like this and just works its way on a slope. So you want to work your knife down the keel bone, either side of it, and then work your knives underneath the breast, and also the tenders are in there as well. So the tenders are underneath of the breast of the bird. So let's just go ahead. I got the keel bone here, I can feel it. Just a nice long slicing motion right along the side, the keel bone, until I get down to the wishbone. I can feel the wishbone with the tip of my knife. And then I'll turn it so you can see. So now I'm going to, and there's actually the tender. So I'm going to go down to the wishbone, and that's it. So now I'm going to come back and do it one more time, and just opening that up. So you can take your other hand and just peel that back so you can see there's the tender. So the tender is now released. Here's the cavity. You can see, let's bring this up a little closer. You can see the keel bone right there. This is the breastplate, so the rib cage. So underneath this is going to be the inside of the cavity of the bird. So all I'm doing is just take and opening that bird up. So there you can see now the breast is almost completely released from the cavity. So then what I'm going to do is come back on the top of the bird, in between the leg and the breast itself. I'm going to pull some of that skin back because I want that skin to be with my breast more than I want it with that leg. See, the breast is a lot leaner meat. So when I bake this, I'm going to do an oven fried chicken with you in a little bit. I want that skin to be, or as much skin to be with it as possible, because I want to add more flavor to that breast. Because remember, a chicken breast is rarely used, so it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. So let's just go ahead and cut that skin. And then I'm just going to work and separate down until I get to the edge. So there's the skin. Now I'm down to the wing joint as well. And then I can take and just come back up here and separate. Just pulling that breast off. And there you have it. So now I've got, let's put this aside. The breast, let's go ahead and pull the tender out. And the tenders, I like to save the tenders, for my, I'll freeze them when I get enough, I'll bread them and I'll bake them for my kids. My kids love these things. They're great for meals for the kids, instead of buying the ones that are pre-done or frozen. And then I've got now my chicken breast here with the skin attached. So let's go ahead and do the other side as well. So same thing. I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the keel bone, and now I can see it. I mean, you can see there's the cavity, there's the keel bone. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, running my knife down to the wishbone, find the wishbone, and now I'm just peeling back that meat. Okay, start there. I'm gonna come over, separate the skin from the leg. And then just cut down, separating the breast. From the rest of the bird. Don't be afraid to turn your chicken around as you're cutting. You really want to be able to see and feel it. You don't have to keep it all in one spot. And there you go. So once again, pull the tender out. So now I've got the two tenders that I can put with my other tenders that are in the freezer. And I've got the breast there. So turn it over, you can see, completely off. Let's put that up on the board as well. So now I've got the two breasts taken off of this. Still have the wishbones here. Let's go ahead and take the wings off as well. And the wings, all you do is just find that joint. And if you come on the back of the chicken, you can feel it. You can feel where that goes down into it. All you do is just take and run your knife through, and then there is now a wing. Do the same thing on the other side. Hold the bird up. And what you want to do is you want to get through that joint, and you can see where it attaches. If you hit on the bone, you just want to move your knife over. If the knife is not going through, obviously you need to readjust. You need to move that knife back over, so that way you're getting in between the joint of the chicken. That's what our wings up there. All right, so now is the part where people tend to get a little bit more grossed out with chicken, because you're actually going to dislocate the hip of the bird. If you flip it over, and you just put your hands underneath the thighs, and you find with your thumbs, you're going to find where the hip goes into the socket there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and pull up to dislocate it. You can hear it pop out, and you can see that's where it dislocates the hip. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Pull up, and it pops out. That way now I can come through and just cut right through there, separating the hip from the rest of the carcass of the bird. Now I've got what's called a quarter. So this will be the leg and the thigh. So here's the thigh, and then here's the leg here. So same thing, that's pulled over. Just cutting down in between, separating the leg and the thigh, and now I've got just my carcass left. There is the oyster on the back where the thigh comes in. You can pull those out if you want. I leave them in. This is great for making stock. So I've got on my website a stock video on how to make chicken stocks. Definitely check that out on how to make and create your own chicken stock. So this now I'm going to save. This is fantastic flavor right here. If I roast it off, I can get a darker stock. If I leave it like this, it'll be a lighter colored stock. So this I'm definitely going to save in my freezer until I have enough to make some stock. All right, one last thing. Let's go ahead and separate our thigh from our leg. It gives you a little cheater. There's a fat line that runs right through there. All you have to do is just follow that fat line, and you can feel the joint. I'm just going to go right down through it. And then now I've separated my thigh from my leg. So I have those two pieces as well. Let's do this one, same thing. Find the fat line, find the joint. And there you go. So now I've got, let's pull these down so you can see. So now I've got my two legs. I've got the two breasts here. I've got the two wings, which the wings, if you like chicken wings, save those up until you have enough, and then make buffalo wings. And then the two thighs. So there you have it. 8 pieces of chicken off of one bird, plus my 2 tenders, which I can also put away, like I said, for later for my kids. If you want to do that. If not, go ahead and you can bake them off with this. So what I'm going to do now is actually going to show you a recipe. And this is one of my favorite ways to cook chicken, because I love fried chicken, but fried chicken is messy. It takes a lot of time to get everything set up. You gotta get the oil. Oil's expensive. Why not do it in the oven and still get nice crispy skin? So I'm gonna take and show you. I'm gonna get cleaned up, and I'm gonna show you my recipe for oven fried chicken. All right, stay tuned. All right, so welcome back. As I promised, my recipe for oven fried chicken. Really quick and easy way to do chicken that has a nice crisp breaded skin in the oven without the mess of frying something in a lot of oil and making a giant mess. So first off, I really like to take and marinate. I want to almost like a brine my chicken, because what I want to do is I want to add as much flavor as possible to this chicken. And this can be done ahead of time. You don't want to let it go more than 3 or 4 hours, but at least an hour or 2 would be ideal. And what I'm marinating my chicken in is a mixture of Greek yogurt, a little bit of milk, and some hot sauce. And it's just whatever your favorite hot sauce may be. It doesn't have to be something specific, whatever you like, whatever you have in the fridge. You can also do this instead of yogurt and milk. You can also do it with buttermilk. But what I'm going for is I want that acid that's in the yogurt or the buttermilk to help penetrate and get into the bird. It's going to add moisture. It's going to add flavor. So that's going to really help, give us a nice juicy chicken when it comes out of the oven. So go ahead, get your chicken, and you just want to put them all in and then turn them a couple times, and then just put them back in the fridge, like I said, for an hour, maybe at least maybe 2 hours, but no more than about 3 or 4, because what will happen is that buttermilk will start to break down your chicken and it becomes almost like a mealy texture. So just go ahead and give it a good coating. Make sure it's well coated, and then you might want to turn this once or maybe twice while it's in the fridge. At least just to make sure that it stays well coated. And like I said, I've used buttermilk before in the past, and buttermilk works great because it has that nice acid to it. That's what you really want, is that acid that's in the buttermilk and the yogurt. All right, so this is coated now. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back into the fridge for about an hour or so. I'll get set up, we'll come back, and I'll show you the rest on how to bread this and get this into the oven. All right, so we're back. I've let my chicken marinate for about an hour and a half. I did turn it once during the marinade process just to make sure everything stays nice and coated. Now I want to go ahead and show you how to do the proper breading for this. A traditional breading recipe is flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs. This one I'm going to skip those two because I have the marinade of the yogurt, the milk, and the hot sauce, which is going to help my breading stick to my chicken. If you were to just take a piece of chicken and try and roll it in breadcrumbs, it would never stick. It would want to fall off during the baking process. You have to have something that's going to help adhere it to your chicken. That's what I have the yogurt for. So for my breading, I have it right here. I've actually taken a couple cups of whole wheat flour, and I like to use whole wheat flour whenever I can. It's got a lot more nutritional value than straight up all-purpose flour that's been removed of all the nutrients and all the everything that's good for you. So it leaves some with whole wheat flour, and it works in this application. Now that's not to say you can't use all-purpose flour. Go ahead and use it if that's what you choose, and just know that this is a whole wheat flour that has more nutritional value for you than an all-purpose flour, but it's your choice of which one of those you want to use. Also with this, I've added garlic granules, I've added onion powder, I've added dried oregano, dried thyme, I've added some salt, and I've added some pepper. Now, you can do whatever flavor combination you want. If you want to go cumin and chili powder and coriander and paprika, or you want to go all herbs, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Whatever your spice blend that you like works. It's fun to experiment with those. If you want to try and do a take on a curry powder, or with turmeric and cumin and those spices, go for it. Check it out. See what it tastes like. Experiment. Have fun with this. I did add a little bit of salt also to my chicken, and the reason I added a little bit of salt to my chicken is I want to make sure that I have the salt evenly coated on my chicken, because salt is what brings all your flavors together. You don't have to go crazy with the salt, but a little bit on the chicken to make sure that it is have a nice even coating on it is really important in flavor development for your food. So also I've got my sheet tray here, and you can see I've got aluminum foil down. You don't have to do it, but it just makes it easier for cleanup. And then I put down about a 1/3 cup of olive oil. And you could use, like I said, the oil of your choice. I just happen to use olive oil. And what this is going to do, you have to use a little bit more oil than you normally would with baking, but this is going to help give that skin a nice crispy texture. So go ahead and get that down, get it all ready, and then bring your chicken over. And all I'm going to do is take my chicken one at a time right into my breading mixture. Now it helps to use one hand that is kind of the cleaner hand, and one hand that can work in the flour mixture, because if not, you're going to have two clumpy glove hands that are coated in flour. All right, so I'm going to put that one down. I'm going to do the rest of these the same way, and we'll come back and I'll show you how to get these started in the oven and at what temperature. All right, so we're just getting that nice and coated in the flour mixture there. Make sure it's completely on there, and you can see now how well that chicken wing is coated. If you just want, you can throw a little more on there, dust off the excess, and then I'm going to lay this on the sheet tray. I'm going to lay it skin side down first. So I want to start this skin side down because I really want this to get nice and crispy, and I want some of that fat to render out and help crisp up our chicken skin as well. There's a leg, skin side down, and that's, you know, really coated. Let's do a breast as well so you can see each one of these and how they work. And this is, like I said, this is about 2 cups of flour as well. If there's a little bit left over, that's fine. Just don't. Make sure you don't keep it, because, you know, now you've had raw chicken in it. You don't want to keep that around and risk contaminating anything else. Don't try and keep it and use it for another application. So you want to use as little as you can, but you want enough to where you can get it, all the chicken nice and coated. And you want to give your chicken a little bit of space in between each one so they're not touching, as little as possible. That way the air can move around them, and they keep everything from not getting too, you know, gumpy and stuck together. And you want to make sure you promote an even browning and crispness all over your chicken. All right, so there's the last one. Let's get that guy in there. Slide this guy a little bit. All right, so my chicken is now completely coated, all 8 pieces. I'm gonna put this into a 425 degree oven. That seems a little high, but you want that high temperature to really give you a nice brown crust, a nice even coating, a nice crust on the outside, and really promote that nice crispy skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven about 30 minutes. I'm gonna flip it onto the other side and finish it off for about 10 to 15 minutes just to finish the chicken off. I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish this dish off. All right, so we're back. The chicken is cooked in the oven. I cooked it for about 30 minutes. Then I flipped it over onto the other side of it and then finished it for about 12 more minutes. So just until it's done, which is 160 degrees. I pulled it out of the oven. I've got it setting here. You can see it now. I'm gonna take and put this onto a platter so you can see it a little bit better. But it's got nice, you know, crispy skin, nice golden color, fantastic flavor. The smell is amazing. If you could smell it, and you will when you make this at home, because you will. You know, and you can see if it sticks a little bit to your pan there, that's because the oil, there wasn't enough oil underneath the chicken when I put it down, which is totally fine. Just spread the oil out a little bit more. But there you go. A fantastic meal. Looks just like fried chicken. Tastes even better. It's amazing, especially because of that marinade that I put with it, with the yogurt and hot sauce. That really helps keep the moisture inside the chicken. But I mean, look at the color on this, and you can see the herbs that came through. Like I said, the smell is amazing. So I really hope that you go out and you try this at home. You know, this is just a fantastic, easy, middle of the week recipe. You know, quick and easy. So while the chicken's baking, you can be making your side dishes. It takes about 40 minutes for the chicken to bake. That's plenty of time to get, you know, a salad ready or a side dish, whatever it is you want to make to go with this. You know, your kids will love it, your family will love it, you will love it. Enjoy it. Try it. The recipe is down below, but go ahead and experiment a little bit. You know, try other spices and herbs. You know, but just you have the technique now. You have what it takes to do this on your own. And that's why I developed Home Cook Academy. Check it out, it's open. Home Cook Academy is ready to go. It's 26 lessons, plus videos, plus bonuses, plus live Q&A webinars every month. There's so much information in there for you to join in, to get started, for you to go now. I cannot wait to see you inside Home Cook Academy. I do have another free video coming for you. It'll be delivered to your inbox here shortly. Enjoy that one as well. That's yours to keep. My gift to you. Enjoy it, learn from it. Any comments, questions, leave them below. You know, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this with somebody that you think could use this. You know, what about, you know, somebody else that you think is in the same predicament where they're trying to learn how to cook, or they're eating a lot of fast food or processed food that's not good for them. Let's get it out there. Let's spread the word. Let's start a revolution. Let's get people cooking for themselves again. So until next time, get out there and cook, because life is worth cooking. Take care, everyone.